We'll be doing the Easter eggs and predictions for season 5, episode 3 of Marvel's Agents of Shield. Beware spoilers. So this episode's title was "This Life Spent," and it's a reference to what they say on the lighthouse for the renewal and all that kind of stuff. But in this episode, we meet a couple new characters. One is Lady Basha, and a lot of people are saying that she's a pink Kree, which pink Kree in the comics are pretty much that look like humans. That are the next step of evolution for the Kree, as far as I understand. And at one point, they they overpowered the Kree in the population, or the blue Kree. And it's possible that that's what they're doing here, where the pink Kree overpowered the blue Kree and is now the more powerful version, like the powerful Krees that are higher up in the society, I guess. But the other one is Flint, which I assumed we would meet him from the the visitors that Cassius was having, but I was wrong. But we did meet him in this episode. He talked to Tess for a bit, and I'm assuming since we met him in this episode and we found out about the Fight Club and with Abby and all that kind of stuff, at some point Flint is going to get his powers, if he doesn't even already have them already, if he's hiding them or not. But he's going to end up in the Fight Club, and I have a feeling that Flint and Daisy are going to have like a head-to-head like Fight Club, but it probably won't end up to death. But it's possible that they're going to end up fighting each other at some point or another. But Flint has the power of like moving rocks. Like he can throw rocks, he can pick up rocks and stuff like that. I don't know how to explain other than that. But since I don't read the comics, so I wouldn't know. But Deke has another theory about what's going on, and he says it might be the multiverse, which Marvel does have their own multiverse. But a lot of people always go to DC's multiverse because it's Flash and all that kind of stuff. But Marvel does have one as well. But I'm hoping it's not. I'm hoping they leave the multiverse theory stuff until maybe near the end of season 5, and maybe if we get a season 6, a possible season 6 stuff. But for now, I'd rather just have it be time travel. But we had a reference to 616, which is the main universe in the comics of Marvel. And it's not the first time they use 616, because in the first 2 seasons, their bus was called 616. So it's nice that they brought that back again, 616. But we find out why in this episode, why the kids were taken away from the renewal, which is it's a good thing that you're taking the kids out of the renewal. But the reason why is that they're using Terrigen crystals and every time someone turns the age of 18, they are going to go through the Terrigen process and see if they become inhuman. And if they are, they go to the Fight Club. But yeah. And I didn't see this before, or I had watched this episode a couple times. But Mac actually calls Coulson Sherlock, which I kind of find that funny. But he right after that he has a reference to "I'd rather not go where no one can hear you scream," which is a reference to the movie Aliens. So yeah, and then later on, he has a reference to Hungry Hippos, which is a board game where they're trying to catch like little balls and stuff like that. Which that is not, now that I actually had thought about it, that's what they did look like that. So yeah, and Daisy and Deke have an argument and stuff like that, and Deke keeps calling her Quake the Destroyer of Worlds, which, and then she says, "Don't ever call me that again," and which is a reference to when May used to get mad about being called the cavalry. And back in season one, she always would say, "Don't ever call me that." So it's not. It's nice that they're like showing the same like aspects of how Daisy and May are becoming more and more alike in a sense. Because May is her SO, so it's cool to see that. But in this episode we finally see the actually season 4 finale scene where Coulson gets out of bed and just looks outside and stuff like that, which I never really thought we were going to see that this early, but we did. And it wasn't really able to seen, but Mark Kolpak, who does the visual effects, who does a really amazing job on the show, said that he had put his own Easter egg in this episode, and since it was so dark in the scene where we see Earth, we didn't get to see it very well. But right before we see Zed, I believe his name is Zeb, we see like the camera's panning up, but in the corner of like the left corner of the screen, you see a skull, and it's actually the Coulson writer's skull from last season. So it's kind of cool that they had that little Easter egg. But yeah, and it's not really a reference, I guess. Not really. Someone pointed out that some of the scenes were played out similar to what happened in the show Firefly. The one where Daisy jumps up and is hiding from the Kree in the elevator. It's similar to what River does, but I assumed it was just a reference, not a reference, but I guess a reference to other spy movies and shows and stuff like that, because that's what they usually did. They hide up in high places to make sure no one sees them. But it's possible that they're referencing River and all that. But later in another scene, at some point, I don't remember when, but someone says the objects in space and stuff like that, which is a phrase that it happened in Firefly, and also a scene where Coulson is holding up the Earth. It's similarly shot to when River's holding a same object in her hand. So I guess it's possible, but I don't know. And in this episode, we have a lot of different points of view with Tess and the team, and I personally would be on Tess's team or Tess's side. He did just try to kill you, so it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But Max, morally, moral center is definitely going to be tested this season since what happened with Yo-Yo. Since Yo-Yo just took control of the situation where all her teammates would have been dead if she didn't do it. His moral center is going to be tested a lot this season. But the one that's definitely not as easy to side with is, for me anyway, Daisy and Deke. A lot of people are saying that a lot of the audience is saying Daisy was selfish and reckless and stuff like that, and it agrees with Deke. But I don't really I see both sides of it. He wants to play the long game and protect a lot of people, but Daisy wants to just protect her team and get Simmons out and stuff like that and do it really quickly. But in both situations, you're risking people's life. No matter what you're doing, you're risking people's life. Because the longer you wait to get to Simmons, the longer you have risking not just the SHIELD team, but literally anyone on the lighthouse. They could still just do a renewal for no reason that isn't a part of Daisy's plan, but also or Deke's plan. But with Daisy, her like Deke said, you could possibly cause a renewal because you're rushing in. So either way, it's not a good scenario either way, in my opinion anyway. But yeah, but a lot of people are saying that Deke betrays her and all that kind of stuff, but he really didn't. He says playing the long game, so he's still on Daisy's side. It's just he had to do some working around to make it so it's a compromise in a way, because Daisy got to where Simmons is ish, and Deke is now still able to play the long game and keep everyone safe. So it's in between, I guess. But they talk about or reference May's leg, which is kind of weird. I don't know why, but she says don't want to lie about it. And it's possible that they're hinting at maybe losing her leg this season. They did reference, or May joked about it in episode 3 when, or joked to Coulson about him losing a leg in season 3, so maybe it's karma. I don't know. But if you've been following me on Instagram or Twitter and stuff like that, I posted this earlier this week, where I've noticed that each episode is basically showing aspects of horror trope, I guess, where if you split up, everyone like gets taken but one by one, and that's what Max said in the first episode, which is technically what's happening here. Because in the first episode, we didn't see Fitz, which he was taken, or lack of not taken, to space. Simmons was taken by Sinara to Cassius in the second episode, and in this episode, it's Daisy that was captured by Cassius to go to the Fight Club. So maybe next episode there's going to be a new person, and I'm assuming it's going to be Coulson, or like he's going to have to be split apart from the team, and maybe he's going to be trapped on Earth, maybe with the Vrolnexians, maybe. I don't know. But another theory I had was that that postcard that Virgil had Ontario on it and all that, and I had to look it up to see what could possibly be in Ontario, but I really forgot about it. But the Providence base is in Ontario, so maybe at some point in the past for our team, Fitz had gone to the Providence base and stayed there for a bit to try to figure out what happened to his team and all that. Maybe, I don't know. But another one is that last one. That maybe Eden Fessy is going to help rescue the team, because his power is bending reality, folding and twisting space and time. So maybe he can teleport to the future and rescue our team. I don't know. And like, since they're dealing with a lot of season 3 stuff, like the monolith, time travel, which was a lot of big issues with Fitz last in that season. And we hinted at Eden Fessy's appearance. Maybe it's time that they're going to show him. But yeah, I don't know anything else other than that stuff. But comment down below if I missed any Easter eggs or references. And what do you hope to have coming up in the next couple episodes. See ya.